It's Monday. It is time to learn some more design because you're refreshed from the weekend. You've slept well, you've hydrated, you worked out, you didn't drink too much, you didn't do any drugs because you had to become a better designer. And that's what we're learning here. That's what we're doing here on Find Insight. No, Jesus Christ, Armchair Safari. Oh my God, that's a weird mental fart. All right, so this is Armchair Safari, the daily stream where I sit down, find a cool design online, and then we dissect it to figure out why is this a good design and what can we take away? What's good about this? What's bad about this? What should we avoid in our designs? And does this work for the end user? If you want to tag along, there's a chat somewhere around the window. You can also follow me. I do this every weekday, and that's it. Let's dive right in. And first off, I want to say thank you to Von Blue for making this, pointing out the fact that this is so freaking cool. He's an engineer at Highlight, try Highlight or Highlight.ai. And Highlight is the thing we're going to be looking at today. It's basically like an AI companion for your computer. It does transcriptions. It can help you like search through things you've done. It does all sorts of stuff. Like think of it as a sort of like replacement for Siri, but also like maybe something similar to Raycast, or maybe not. Just go try it. But the thing that we're going to look at is their input box, because it is, well, I will totally agree with Vaughn here. It's just a basic input. Can you make it feel Yes. And yeah, it is just a basic input box. And yeah, they do actually make it feel magical. So here we go. Let's have a look at the video and get a feel. This messages thing is always in the way. Scroll down and scroll up, and now we can see it. And then we go back to the start. Yeah, and I have a lot of problems with my internet connection, so there's gonna be some stuttering and weirdness happening here, guaranteed. But yeah, okay. So you've seen the full video. You understand what we're looking at. I hope this is basically a chatbot similar to ChatGPT, but this is so much better designed. Let's slow this down to half speed and see what we can learn. So the first thing they do is they just click it, let it flow down, and let's actually just see that. Click, flow down, boom. This is beautiful. This is, I harp a lot on animations. They should be quick. They really know this. The animation is super quick and it's layered. So the box does expand, but while you're looking at it, all of these options in the box blur in. I don't think I've ever seen before, which is really cool. And the box also overshoots a little bit, so you got a little bit of the Disney bounce effect. And everything comes down in the order you're supposed to look at it. It's very beautiful. Here we go with the close-up. Falls down. The options blur in. Boom. Oh, they even jiggle a little bit there, see? Jiggle just like a pixel or two. So all of the icons bounce as well. But the more interesting thing is this. So this is what we're actually looking at. So we've all seen this before. This is a search input field that drops down so you can select options in it. But this one is really, really, really well designed. So in this case, what we have here is not a search icon, it is the highlight icon. I think it animates a little bit as you do things as well. On the other side, so like very basic placeholder, highlight icon, very good padding to the sides. interesting size of the text. It's large, but without being huge. And the sort of medium, semi-bold font really adds to that effect. On the other side, you've got a couple of chunky icons, right? So it's an attachment icon. It's actually tiny, but it's also a little bit chunky. And we have the image icon, which is also like super rounded, so it also feels a little chunky. And then we have the classic like voice voice icon that will animate up and down as it's listening to you, which it does constantly, and it's really cool. Then we have the options, and they fold out. They aren't big. Like this is okay. So this is a little bit zoomed out, but this is approximately the size. Maybe like something like this is like the actual 1x size of the highlight box, and everything is small, but it also feels big. It feels chunky because everything is clear. There's lots and lots of white space. It's very focused. There's absolutely nothing in here that is not helping you in any way. Like there is a line between the input and the options. It's very, very, very light. I don't actually think you can see in this frame. Let's skip to the next frame. There we go. So there is a line here and another one here that denotes like that this is actually a part of the input or it is part of the options. So there are some visual cues to help you. Same thing here, we have the icons, they're visual cues to help you. Over here we have option icons, which tells you what this option can do. But they are all there to help you read the screen. They're all there to help you make a shortcut out of this in your mind. It's really, really, really focused. It's super interesting. And down here, we have a browse shortcuts and a create shortcuts because Highlight is supposed to evolve into an agent. So you can ask it to do things and then save that as a shortcut and then just ask it to redo it. It's a really, really cool thing. Really cool idea to do this with a bot like this. But we're actually looking at mostly we're looking at the design, right? So let's step through the video. So here we go. So we've clicked it, the options fall down, and then we scroll over it, and we have this beautiful hover effect, and this is the thing that I want to show you. So while there are more options, you can't see them until you scroll. You can't even see the scroll bar until you scroll, right? So there's nothing here to tell you that you can scroll, but if you scroll, there's a couple of more things. This is a very interesting detail. It's kind of odd to hide things, but it's also incredibly beautiful in this case to have like these are the important options. There are also less important options, or maybe these are the shortcuts that you created before. I don't know. But it's a really, really cool thing. And I love the fact that this scroll is so damn smooth. It's super quick. It's flat, basically. It's just a flat scroll, but the scroll bar is perfectly integrated. And it looks absolutely amazing. I've never seen a scroll bar like this, and it makes so much sense. It's really, really beautiful. And let me get rid of this messages thing. Damn it. Always in the way. And then as we progress, you highlight these things. They're just really, really nicely animated. Just basic animations, but really nicely animated. And if you exit the thing, so if you click outside it or you hit enter or escape, it falls back really quickly into nothing. So it's very responsive. It's very quick. And then we have the options. So as soon as you scroll over it, it tells you what it does. Attach clipboard and files. And there we go. And when you click it, we get another one of these popping out things. It's placed in the same way as the full bar, but you can see it's not the same by not just the fact that it doesn't take up the full screen, but also the animation is different. This one appears, meaning it has an opacity filter on it. And it actually has a slightly different color. It's slightly darker, so you can tell it's an overlay. Same beautiful hover effects. And if you hit clipboard here, this is so incredibly cool. We just added the document, whatever was in our clipboard, to this chat. So now we can ask it to do anything with the clipboard as a context. And we hit the thing, you can see that the clipboard is in the input. So you can tell that it's a part of whatever you're asking the bot to do. Very good design. Same options, because it doesn't matter. It's always working on the last text or whatever it is you're working on. So it's, oh, did the video stop working here? Yeah, I think we got some loading issues. Am I still streaming? Yeah, I think I am. Here we go. Yes. Blah, blah, blah. And you can write anything to highlight, and it will either perform it as command or store the text with your notes. And yeah, that's it. So wow, there's so much to talk about and look at here. Let's go to the full expansion of it. Where was it? It was around here somewhere, I think. Let's just load it so we can tell. Yeah, there it was. Oh, I wanted it with the clipboard. Boom. Okay. All right. So what's good about this? Well, focus, visual hierarchy is amazing. The focus of it is absolutely amazing. It's so clear. They've really thought about what is the input and what is the output. It's incredibly well designed for that. It's very rapid. Animations are beautiful. They're beautiful. They're simple, but they do have these more advanced things. Like they do bounce and overshoot a little bit. It's just that they're so quick, you only feel it. You're not looking at like an old cartoon, watching the animation bend and drag. It's just something you feel. It feels crisp and responsive. It's really nice. Choice of color and everything. I mean, this is an app that's supposed to be in the background and you can tell. And it's beautiful. Super, super flat, super digital, works really well. Adding documents, stuff like this, it's in the input. It's just really, really clear what it's doing. It's very nice. I mean, for you guys, if you haven't tried Highlight, you don't have the full context of what the app does, so it might be less clear to you, of course, but I doubt that any of you have any problem figuring out what summarize or ultimate meeting summarizer means. It's pretty self-explanatory. The paddings are excellent. The comparison between like the paddings and the texts is really interesting, because this isn't big, but the text feels big and chunky, but it isn't. It's just that the paddings give the text enough offset that it feels like the text is large or has a lot of breathing space. And the medium or semi-boldness of the font makes it feel like it's a little chunky. And then all of the icons, all of the edges and everything, they're rounded. They're rounded a lot, so it feels bubbly and chunky and a little bloated, sort of, which is a really, really cool visual way to describe what they're doing, because everything about this interface just bubbles, right? It's this audio indicator. It just bubbles up and down as you talk to it, and this entire UI feels like it's bubbling. It's bubbling with information. That is really, really cool. It's also really cool how they achieved this with so little. So really, really cool. I definitely want to take away the fact that when I work through a design, I should be thinking about how does the animation, how does the like visual representation, how do these things interact to create a feeling with the user? Okay, so what is bad about this? Is there something we should avoid doing that we can learn from this? Let's squint at it and see, like, yeah, okay, contact or the what's it called when you have like white and black, and what's it called, the it's not friction, it's, come on chat, come on, what's it called, contrast. The contrast might be a little bit low. It's not that low though. I think it's fine. I think it's WCAG AA maybe or something. It's totally fine. It is a little bit weird how they're using color for some things, but mostly not. So Some of the icons, this one, and this one have color. Nothing else has color. That is a little bit strange. Now, for this one, I know that this is because this is mostly on your screen the entire time. This is the indicator that you're actually actively being recorded. So it makes sense that it has color, but it's from this video, it's just not clear. How is the color used? Why is it used in this way? Is it like trying to communicate something that I don't know? So worth figuring out, worth thinking about, like, do the icons, do the colors really communicate something to the user, or is it just there for your visual preference? Same thing with the lines. The lines are absolutely brilliant here. And yeah, I need to take away the fact that when we're working with different types of inputs and outputs, it should be really, really clear when something is a grouped input or not. Because this, I think, is a really, really nice clarity to have. Yeah, what else? No, I think that's it. There's not a lot of bad things to say about this. It just looks really nice. It works really well. I totally, totally recommend you actually download the app and try it because it is very cool to just see it in action. It did the first time I tried it. It did like take up a lot of system resources and was a little bit heavy, but that only happened once. So hopefully they fixed that by now because this was a couple of versions ago. Anyway, that's the good and the bad. So the endpoint is the most important thing for us is, does this work for the end user? So at this point, like, the reason they've spent so much time on this design is to make it sort of fun and explorative, to actually input things into Highlight and see what it does. Like, what can it do for me? What does it do? Can I try this? Can I try that? And I think they totally nailed it. They could probably do even more to make it more explorative, to make it feel a little bit more like what Superhuman is doing with their Command K menu. Like, you're always just finding new things. But that said, this is still a fantastic start. And Highlight is a very young startup. I don't know how long they've been around, but I would doubt it's a year. So this is really freaking impressive stuff. So I'm going to say, yes, this totally works for the end user. And yeah, that's it for today. I think we learned a lot from Highlight. And thanks again to Von Blue for highlighting this. Sorry, I had to. It was good. It was good. Okay. And if you want to try Highlight, go to Highlight AI and check it out. Apparently, they're hiring as well. So if you're in New York City, go be a front end engineer for Highlight. And anyway, that's it for me. This is the Armchair Safari live stream, which happens every day around this time, every work day around this time. I try to become a better designer. I try to bring you along. We look at a great piece of design that I find online, and we try to figure out, what can we learn from this? What is the good thing we can learn? What is the bad thing we should avoid? And does this work for the end user? And doing so over and over and over again will hopefully yield a lot of good results. And you'll become a better designer. I will become a better designer. The world will become better designed, and we will all be better off. Anyway, bye. See you tomorrow.